You know, for years, we've all been playing the same game. It was Google's game, and we knew the rules. Create awesome content, get some links, and watch your site climb up the rankings. But well, that whole game is being flipped on its head right now. The rise of AI isn't just another trend, it's a massive shift in how people actually find information online. So, let's dive in and break down the new rules for this new reality of AI content optimization.
Think about how we used to search. You type in a question, and what did you get? A page with 10 blue links. Your job as the searcher was to click around, open a few tabs, and piece together the answer yourself. But the new search? It's totally different. With AI like ChatGPT, Perplexity, or even Google's new AI overviews, they just skip all that. You ask a question, and boom, you get a single, synthesized answer. This changes absolutely everything for anyone creating content for the web.
And that leads to the really big question, right? The content you've been working so hard on, is it actually built to be the source for these new AI answers? Because if it's not, you honestly risk becoming completely invisible.
Okay, so to get you ready, here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at just how fast search is changing. Then, we'll introduce a new term you need to know, generative engine optimization. After that, we'll dig into the data that proves AI and Google are playing by different rules. And finally, we'll give you a concrete playbook and a new workflow to help you win.
Every new era needs a new vocabulary, right? Well, the strategy for optimizing your content for this new world has a name, and trust me, you're going to be hearing it a lot more.
So what is it? It's called Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO for short. And it's all about structuring your content so that these AI systems don't just find it, they actually choose to cite it in their answers. It's not about tricking an algorithm, it's about being the clearest, most authoritative, and most useful source for the machine.
Now, this whole field is brand new, so you're going to see a whole bunch of different terms flying around. Things like answer engine optimization, AI optimization, even LLMO. They're all kind of pointing at the same big idea. We're going to stick with GEO today, but the main thing to remember is that an entirely new discipline is being born right now.
You might even hear some folks, including execs at Google, say that optimizing for AI is basically the same as good old SEO. And you know what? To a certain extent, they're right. Quality content still matters, of course, but what's fascinating is that when you actually look at the data, you find some huge differences that prove it's not nearly that simple.
So, let's get into that data. This is the hard evidence. This is what shows us why thinking of AI search as just Google with a chatbot is a massive, massive mistake. The numbers tell a very, very different story.
Check this out. It turns out that AI engines and Google are basically fishing in two completely different ponds. When researchers looked at thousands of queries, they found this really low domain overlap between their sources. For example, Perplexity only shared about 15% of its sources with Google. For GPT, it was a shockingly low 4%. They're getting their info from different places.
So, where are they getting this information? Well, if we break down Google's sources, it's a pretty balanced diet. About a third of it comes from social media and user-generated content. You know, places like Reddit, Quora, forums. Google really trusts the voice of the community.
But now, look at the AI source mix. It's a totally different picture. The AI models heavily favor earned media. Think news sites, industry publications, and official brand websites. That social and community content, it drops from a third of the pie all the way down to just 13%. So the key takeaway here is this. AI trusts authority and official sources way more than the wisdom of the crowd.
And the differences don't stop there. Take a look at the age of the content being cited. Now, I know this looks a little complicated, but the idea is simple. See how the shapes for the AI models on the left are wider and more clustered down at the bottom, near 0 days old? That's because they consistently, and I mean consistently, favor fresher content.
Let's put a hard number on that to make it really clear. For questions about cars, the median age of an article Google cited was 493 days old. That's well over a year. For the AI model Claude, it was just 148 days. That's a difference of 345 days. AI isn't just looking for the right answer, it's looking for the right answer right now.
So let's just sum up what the data is telling us. AI search is not just a new paint job on an old engine. It is a new engine with a completely new set of rules. It prefers different kinds of sources, it values freshness in a totally new way, and it is building its answers from a different corner of the web. And what that means is our old SEO playbook, well, it needs a serious update.
Okay, so we've seen the data, we get the problem, now let's talk about the solution.
How do we actually create content that's going to thrive in this new world? This is what we call the AI Readable Content Playbook, and it's all about structuring your expertise so that both humans and machines can understand it perfectly.
This playbook is built on 3 really simple pillars. First, lead with the answer. Don't bury the good stuff. Second, structure your content for extraction. Make it super simple for a machine to just grab the piece of info it needs. And third, build verifiable trust. You have to show the AI that you are a credible source it can actually rely on.
Let's break down that structure for extraction idea. This is all about making your content mechanically easy for an AI to read and understand. Use headings that actually sound like the questions people are asking. Keep your paragraphs tight, like 3 or 4 sentences focused on one idea. Use lists and bullet points, and this one's critical. Make sure each section of your article could be lifted out on its own and still make perfect sense.
And next up, building trust. These AI models are being trained to check their work, to check their sources. That means clear authorship with a bio is no longer a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. You need to cite your own sources. Your brand information, your name, your address, it all needs to be consistent everywhere online. And getting mentions from other trusted sites, that's like a vote of confidence that tells the AI you're the real deal.
I love this quote from SEO consultant Arda Chung because it just sums up the whole strategy perfectly. It's a 2-part mission. First, get the technical structure right so the machines can read you. And second, fill that structure with real, valuable human insight that actually makes you worth reading and citing in the first place. All right, so you've got the playbook. You understand the principles. But how do you actually bake this into your day-to-day work? This is your new AI SEO workflow, a simple, repeatable process to put everything we've just talked about into practice. This workflow breaks down into 3 easy steps: monitor, find, and optimize. It's a cycle. First, you have to monitor. Are you being cited? Where are you showing up? Who's beating you? Second, you find opportunities. Look for content you can quickly update or maybe new topics you should jump on. And finally, you optimize. That's when you put the playbook into action and create or update content to win.
And the best part is, you don't have to do this stuff blind. A whole new toolkit is popping up for this new world. For that monitor step, tools like Surfer's AI Tracker or the toolkit from SEMrush can show you where you stand. For the find step, content audit and topical map tools can help you spot those golden opportunities. And for optimize, content editors are there to guide you to add the facts and structure that AI is looking for.
And that really brings us to the end. This shift to AI search, it's not coming. It's already here, and it's happening fast. The old way of just trying to rank on Google isn't going to be enough anymore. Your audience is already asking AI for answers, so the only question left to ask is, will it be your content that provides them?